Hey NBA fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today we have a brand new NBA news and rumors video. A lot of things are happening right now in the National Basketball Association. There's some really interesting trade deadline stuff, as well as this Giannis Antetokounmpo story potentially going to the Warriors. We're going to dive into that as well. There's a lot of crazy things happening, so I wanted to get you guys this video out as quickly as possible. You can give me a follow on Twitter at RealThomasMott as well. Let's go ahead and jump right into the number one thing I wanted to dive into today. Maybe not in chronological order, but this is big news right here. So an NBA GM who wanted to remain anonymous was speaking to multiple outlets about what the trade deadline could be looking like coming next February 7th in 2020. The anonymous GM said there is going to be a ton of trades. Now remember, normally during the trade deadline, you have trades, yes, but it's like one or two, maybe marquee players, like actual players where you go, oh, look who just left. Oh, that's kind of a big deal. Everything else is like, oh, here's my backup this, or my backup that, or my bench player this, bench player that. But this could be a different NBA trade deadline, according to one GM, who said in this quote, I think we're going to see more of that than usual. I think if you look at the market, there's going to be a very brisk trade market this winter for a few reasons. Now, he did not dive into what exactly those reasons are, but it's the way the modern NBA is starting to kind of continue to change. It's all about player mobility. It's all about moving around. And I think this year we have an NBA season where there's a lot of parity. There's a lot of people in the NBA, or a lot of people watching the NBA who were getting really tired of the Golden State Warriors dominating for years and years and always going up against LeBron James. Well, that basically died this past season as, of course, Klay Thompson is injured and Kevin Durant is no longer there, and now Anthony Davis moves to the West and Kawhi moves. It's just all this movement here has been crazy, and there are a lot of legit contenders in the entire NBA from the Eastern and the Western Conference. So, could the fact that maybe it's not just your team is, you know, well, we don't really have a shot because we were playing Durant and Steph and Klay, we were playing LeBron and Kyrie back in the day. Maybe your team is like, well, we're pretty darn close. One more little move could make a massive, massive difference. Let's go ahead and pull the trigger. That's my best guess as to why the NBA GM thinks this could happen. But overall, I think that there's a legitimate reasoning to believe that there could be a lot more trades happening by February 7th. People want to move, people want to get to contenders, and that could really shift the balance of power in the National Basketball Association. All right, first question. Who do you think? This would be a hard one for you guys to get right, but I'm curious what you guys think. Who do you think would be the biggest name traded this season? I'm thinking off the top of my head. If I had to pick somebody, this would be like, let's just throw a hot take out there. Maybe if the Sixers are struggling and they want to get rid of Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons. I don't know. They've always not meshed well together on the floor, in my opinion. You know, it's two post players. I know that Ben Simmons is a point guard, but he does all his work at or right about the rim. So if I had to pick one, that could make sense. They try to make it work, but it doesn't work out. I don't know. It's going to be a crazy trade deadline if this NBA GM is right, and who knows, could be shipped off to anywhere when we get right around February 7th in 2020, which is still next year, but is coming up pretty quickly. So I wanted to get you guys that one in here first. This one, I don't know how you're gonna feel about it. So this is well sourced. This is Ramona Shelburne of ESPN. She said a couple days ago, I think it was yesterday, on The Jump, that Giannis is believed that the biggest threat to sign Giannis when he becomes a free agent in 2021 is, you're gonna hate to see it, the Golden State Warriors. Now, if you love the Warriors, then you obviously love this. But if you're an anti-Warrior fan, like a lot of people are out there, this is not very good news to you right now. Now, the problem is for the Warriors, if this is going to happen, and again, 2021, anything can happen, and it's crazy. I don't know if I would have brought this to Chat Sports in this video today if Ramona Shelburne from ESPN had not been the one to come out and say this. That gives it a lot of weight, a lot of power there. But here's what would have to happen for him to become a Warrior. Number one, either Giannis would have to take a significant pay cut, because they have Thompson, they have Curry, they have Green, all signed in max deals right now, or the Warriors would have to trade either Thompson, D'Angelo Russell, or Draymond Green. Now, you're a Warriors fan, you know, I've talked about it when I do the Warriors report here on Chat Sports, that the Warriors are not 100% sold on D'Angelo Russell. There is a group of people who believe that D'Angelo Russell was just acquired that way they could then flip him before the trade deadline. Could potentially be a move that happens at the trade deadline. So you could see a scenario where they use him for a year, they use him for a year and a half, whatever it is, and then they ship him away to make room for Giannis. I think a lot of Warriors fans would be okay with that. Not saying that's the case, but if you're looking at what needs to take place for Giannis to get there, if indeed Giannis wants to go to the Warriors, that's the big if right here. They're obviously not going to get rid of Klay Thompson. And I don't really see them getting rid of Draymond Green either, because they just signed Draymond Green to a 4-year, $100 million extension. If there was one guy that would be expendable, it would be D'Angelo Russell, and that could happen anytime going forward if the team does not feel like he's a good fit with Steph when Klay comes back and Draymond Green. Now, again, plenty of time to figure it out. Not saying that they're just going to get rid of it, but at the same time, we'll have to see what happens. Now, did you take this into account? In 2018, Giannis told Bleacher Report, quote, "You don't have to have a lot of stars." I definitely think that, because I think we have great pieces in this team, and every guy in this team knows what his role is having fun and enjoying his role. So he wasn't a big fan of all the superstar, super teams, all that stuff, whatever, but that's 2018, and, the NBA is about player mobility, and people's opinions change, and where you want to go changes, and I think a lot of players, especially the elite players like a Giannis in Milwaukee, will only last so long if you cannot win an NBA Finals. Like, when you know you're that good, you can only last so long until it's like, all right, I need to go somewhere I can actually, use my talents to the fullest and actually win a ring. Not saying it's going to happen, but the fact that ESPN was all over this is fascinating. I want to share with you guys here. Question: Where should Giannis be in 2021 when he's a free agent? Should he re-sign? Should he go somewhere else? Go to the Warriors? Let me know in the comment section down below. This is another good one. This is a classic NBA offseason piece here. So Kobe Bryant was being interviewed by ESPN, and the reporter was all about trying to get Kobe Bryant to say who has the best duo in the NBA. They were like, all right, you got Harden and Westbrook and James and AD and Leonard and George and Embiid, Simmons. Who's the best one right now? And Kobe completely flipped and was like, changed the subject and basically didn't answer it, right? He did not want to answer this question because he's probably got friends here and there. He didn't want to show favoritism. It's how the Black Mamba works, basically. But I thought it was a great question, so I wanted to bring it here to you guys and offer this one up. Who has the best duo in the NBA going into the 2020 or the 2019 NBA season? There they are. They're up on your screen right now. Harden, Westbrook in Houston, James AD in LA, Leonard George also in LA, Embiid and Simmons, Lillard McCollum, Steph and Klay when they're healthy, and Durant and Kyrie Irving when they are healthy. Let's just take into account that Steph and Klay will be healthy eventually, and same with Durant and Irving. Who is the best duo here? I'm very curious to see what you guys think down below. James and AD is going to be fascinating because I think it's like, people always want to compare AD to Chris Bosh, but it's like AD is so much better than what Chris Bosh was during his elite period of time. I think Leonard and George is going to be fantastic. Paul George plays a lot better defense than people realize. It'd be a very good defensive team. But Steph, Klay, that's the classic Splash Brothers. And Durant, Irving. Irving's been great when he's had a guy like LeBron, like Kevin Durant on his team. They're all good. They're all really, really good. The one that I think is still kind of iffy is going to be Harden Westbrook, but who knows, right? That could work out too. The good news is, this ties back in with our first rumor, is that the NBA is no longer a two-team league, right? The NBA has a bunch of different teams that have star duos, and anything can happen when we get to the postseason. I think it make the regular season a lot more interesting as well. So yeah, go ahead. You probably already are. Comment the best duo in the NBA right now. I read them all. I want to see what you guys think right there. Next bit of news here. This one just happened. I think yesterday, the Magic have actually shown that they're going to have a lot of faith in Markelle Fultz. So they have exercised his option for the 2019 or the 2020-2021 season, giving him, wait for it, $12.3 million. Remember, they traded for him from the Sixers last season, and everyone was like, oh, well, they're trying to resurrect his career. Is it resurrectable? Is it confidence, jump shot? All these Markelle Fultz questions, right, that we all have no idea what the answer is to. But this shows a lot of faith in the former number one overall pick, saying that you're going to option his contract, saying you want him back, and are going to pay him $12.3 million. That's a lot of money. Right, that's not just like a 8th man on your roster, 3rd man on your bench type money. That's like pretty decent money right there. Fultz, again, played in 33 games, 7.7 points per game, 3.4 assists, shot 41% from the field. But again, excuse me, has never really been a massive factor at any point in his young career. So a lot of people think he's dead in terms of his NBA prospects, but the Magic have shown a little bit of love and interest in there. So I'm very curious to see what happens. I wish the guy all the best, right? We want him to play well. I think mentally he's had an absolute, blank show of trying to figure out what to do. Now, whether it's his fault or not, I don't know. But overall, I'm excited to see if Markelle Fultz can actually be successful. Was surprised to see this story come up just the other day. Question for you guys here: how many points will Fultz average this year? Right? He's got to play in games. If he plays in games, how many points will he average? Average 7 over 33. Maybe 10 if he's figured it out. Maybe more. I don't know. Do we really know how good he is? I don't think anyone truly knows how good Markelle Fultz is. So we'll have to wait and see what happens this upcoming season. And final little quick news here. Michael Jordan, and this is more to correct a lot of the headlines you guys are seeing. You're seeing This headline, Michael Jordan sells minority stake in the Hornets. You read that and you go, oh, Michael Jordan is getting rid of his power in the Hornets. Like, he's no longer going to be running the Hornets. Oh my goodness. Okay, here's the deal. I'm just going to lay it out for you. Jordan, of course, has been at the helm in Charlotte since like 09, 2010, and he's adding 2 minority partners with the team. But they're minority partners, and the 2 of them will not create a majority, so Jordan will remain in charge of the franchise. Here's what he said in a quote. This kind of explains it all. I'm excited to welcome Gabe and Dan, those are the 2 minority partners, as my partners in the Hornets sports and entertainment. While I will continue to run the Charlotte Hornets and make all decisions related to the team and organization and remain the team's NBA governor, Gabe and Dan's investments in the franchise is invaluable, and as we continue to modernize, add new technology, and strive to compete with the best in the NBA. Now, if you're a Hornets fan, a lot of mixed feelings on what you think about Michael Jordan running the team, because again, under Jordan, they're 341 and 467 with 7 losing seasons, and they've never made it out of the first round of the playoffs. So a lot of people were kind of excited that Jordan was going to kind of move out of the way there in Charlotte, and some people were like, oh yay, we're going to be good to go. The headline says he's, selling the team. Here's what actually happened. They have not sold the team. Jordan is still going to be in control. He's going to be running the entire thing. This feels more like not a personnel move, more like an arena move. Like a Hornets move in terms of updating technology and improving this, improving that. Nothing on the actual basketball court I think is going to change right now in Charlotte, which is a very tough franchise. And if you're a Hornets fan, everyone type 7 down below in the chat to pay respects for the Hornets fans or whatever people do on Twitch streams or whatever. But we all feel bad because it's a tough time right now to be a Hornets fan because they lost Kemba Walker, and we don't know when they're ever going to get better anytime soon. But again, wanted to update you guys there on Michael Jordan selling part of his stake in the Hornets, but still not really selling any of it. He'll be still in control there in Charlotte. Okay, there we go. That's all the time we have for today on the NBA News and Rumors video. There's some big ones here at the top. The major trade deadline, I'm very fascinated to see what happens. This whole Giannis 2021 is already starting. That shows how big of a player he is. People are already starting to plan for that. Like, don't be surprised if teams are like, all right, let's just have our pitch ready. You really never know when that could happen. And then the best duos. That one's for me to enjoy watching you guys not fight about it. Just do it respectfully. But, figure it out in the chat. Who is the best duo in the NBA? As always, be sure to subscribe to Chat Sports. We have a ton of great content coming up here at this channel. So stay tuned for what we have in the future. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.